But I want to talk about something that's deeply personal to me that comes from my very soul, and that is what it means to be an American. I also want to talk about this 100 Americans versus 100 Brits, but let's start with what it means to me to be an American. And like I said, it's extremely personal. Now, it may not sound like it. I'm an American citizen, but when I first came to this country, I was 21 years old. I came with a friend of mine. We slept in an old car that we bought, a 1973 Ford LTD Country Squire, and we bought it. It was 20 foot long, so we could actually sleep in it. But if it wasn't for the generosity and the grace of everyday Americans we met along the way, it's doubtful that my friend and I would have been as successful as we have turned out to be. Now, I've had quite a good life. I've been to 45 different countries. Now, those 45 different countries, I can tell you there's not many that I would choose to live in. One of those is clearly the United States of America. So Donald Trump, however, is the exact opposite, the exact antithesis of the people that I met, the graceful people, the funny people, the people that lent us money, the people that gave us a roof over our head, the people that helped us with jobs. Those people, strangers that helped two 20-year-olds get life started when we first came to the United States of America. Donald Trump does not represent those people that I met at that time. He's a narcissistic slug. He doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't care about your family. He paints his face gold. He has no sense of humor. And most of all, he absolutely lacks any grace whatsoever. He is a charlatan and a grifter. He's easily malleable. He talks to terrorists. One of his best friends, he claims, is Putin from Russia, who has had children forcibly deported from Ukraine so they can be adopted by Russian families. That is who Donald Trump likes to hang out with and thinks is a very good people to be, well, how should we say, very good people. So Donald Trump is the antithesis of the people I met when I first came here. He also wants to break NATO. Now let's talk about this. I said 100 Brits versus 100 Americans. Well, that's in fun, I get it. But who would you want in a firefight by your side? Do you want to have a bunch of Brits next to you if you're in a trench and you're an American? I guarantee you probably would, and vice versa. My father was part of the greatest generation. There were many from both sides of the Atlantic, of course, Australians, Canadians, and so on. But at the end of the day, the two greatest allies we've seen in a very long time are the Americans and the British. Who wants to break that? Donald fucking Trump wants to break it. He thinks NATO is a bad idea because guess what? His boss, Putin, thinks it's a bad idea. So no, I am not leaving this country. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to fight, and I hope you do too. Go and form and be part of every demonstration. And most of all, the number one thing that someone like Donald Trump, a diaper-wearing, malignant, narcissistic sociopath in cognitive decline, cannot stand to be mocked. That's his biggest weakness. That's his Achilles heel. So whenever you get a chance to do it, please do so. And you know what? I don't say this very often, but God bless America.